Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Boozy Botanical Podcast. My name is Holly.
And I'm Angelique.
And we're back again with another episode.
We're here, 91, I think, right?
91. We hope you guys are having
cool.
a great holiday season. Doesn't this come out on the 19th?
You
guys are listening to it on the 20th.
No, it comes out the 26th, I think. 27th. I think so.
Oh.
Hold on. You guys, we have to talk.
I'm trying to.
Oh, no, because episode 90, we have episode 90 for day 20.
Oh, okay. So I hope you guys all had a great December 25th. Let us know how it went. And yeah, Angelique, what are you drinking?
I had brought back the bag of tricks, everybody.
Woo!
So my mixer here, I've had it before, is the Polar Orange Vanilla Seltzer. I had the choice between this one and a cranberry lime, and I was like, that's too easy.
It's too generic.
Oh, yeah. Like, I think it's too easy for it to work out. So let me just pour some mixer for us. And then I brought back the good old gal. So
there she is.
Not satisfactory. The boozy bag that Holly designed. Love to see it. Let's see what we got.
Wait, what is that?
It's boring. It's probably gonna be fine. Smirnoff pineapple vodka. So it's one of my older ones.
I thought it was lemon for a second because I could see the bottle a little bit.
That would be cool. That would be interesting for sure.
Going with the citrus, but hey, I mean,
we try? I think it's
gonna be as a win. Like,
let's see.
It's still gonna be an interesting combo because I don't think I would naturally pair those two together.
I don't think I would either because it's already so acidic.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just add a bit more mixer.
I would have added, like, going off of the creamsicle. What would you add? I mean, honestly,
like a vodka. Oh no, that is a vodka, but like maybe like a or a gin, but something that's like, I don't want like cleaning solution taste. I want like
a Coke, like you know how they do like a cherry vanilla Coke.
Well, like what would be the alcohol element though? You would stick with vodka, you think?
Oh yeah, duh.
Oh yeah.
Mind.
No, but the Coke sounds great. Well, yeah, because there's vanilla Coke and there's cherry Coke. Yeah.
I forgot that wasn't the liquor, but
yeah, it's okay.
Oh,
you're like, Coke, the hard stuff.
Literally the white stuff.
All right, ready?
Ready. I still can't get over the clear glass.
I know.
Or the clear liquid, I mean.
I know, it's weird.
How is it?
Okay. Hold on.
Maybe it's because you don't have ice that it looks funny.
It does look. I did consider ice, and I was like, "Who needs it?" This was in the fridge. It tastes like the summer of 2010.
Oh, that is so specific.
Thank you. Let's see, because I started 9th grade in 2009. Yeah, maybe the summer of 2009, if nothing else. It tastes like when I would go to the pool at the community center in Florence, that because I lived in a neighborhood that has a community center.
Yeah.
It's, you know how everyone says Malibu tastes like
summer or sunscreen. Yeah.
Summer or death, one of the two. This tastes like it almost tastes like the Hawaiian tanning lotion, but very light.
Oh.
I think it's the pineapple element. I don't know what the orange vanilla is doing here, but there is like an aromatic taste on the back of my throat.
Okay.
But it tastes like, okay, hold
on. She's going in again.
Okay, here's what it is I see where the orange is coming in. Okay, it's like like you've had sunscreen on for a while. You've gone swimming. There's still some of it stuck to you. There's that like smell.
That layer. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's becoming more subtle, but it's mixed with like the summer breeze of Arizona and like chlorine. I don't know. This is a very nostalgic flavor. I actually am going through something right now. I would never want to drink this, but I'm glad it's here. Like there is a memory developing.
Yeah.
I'm seeing water slides. I'm seeing water bucket. I'm seeing
that
bikini.
Yeah, and that is a very jarring memory in the middle of winter, I must say. Like summer.
Am I triggering you?
I mean, maybe. I'm like, no.
Oh,
Not
Holly's
summer
like,
yet.
get away from me.
Not need summer. Not yet.
It's a very interesting flavor. Like, I get senses of my mom. Like, it's
Oh my
well, because she
goodness.
uses tanning lotion.
Mhm.
I don't know, guys.
This
Try
drink
this
is
at
a
home. Highly
journey.
recommend.
You're on a journey right
I
now
am on a journey. It's
with this drink.
weird. Yeah, it was 2010, I think, 9 or 10 for sure. Um, at the pool. Yeah, you guys, I was not expecting to be moved like this. So let's just keep it going. But yeah, it's weird. To conclude, the flavor is a bit lotiony.
Well, hey, you wanted something weird. You thought that it was gonna be an easy choice, and it was not.
That's the thing. That's the thing. That's why I was like, yeah, cranberry because that with cranberry lime, I think would have been great.
That's true, yeah.
But I'm just like, you know what? I'm glad that this took us on a journey. I'm glad that this was unexpected. So here we are. Holly, how was your
Nice.
week?
Well, I still have a drink to share
Oh,
real quick.
I'm just kidding.
And then I'll tell you about
I
my
was
week.
trying to transition.
Oh, I know, but,
We
I
love a
do
mule
have
cup.
yes, we have a copper cup.
So
She's
good.
actually a cranberry mule.
Ooh.
Yes, last night we actually hosted our Florida family for, like, a Florida Christmas before we go back
'Cause you're
home.
leaving soon.
We are, and these were the drinks that I made. They were a hit. I tried a new ginger beer brand. I think it's called, like, Gosling or something like that.
Yeah.
It was really good. So, I couldn't find my usual I could not remember the name of the brand, but it is in that amber glass bottle. I'm sure you can, like, see it.
Oh.
Yeah, totally
It's
forgot the name.
that's the alcohol?
It's the ginger beer.
It's the ginger beer and amber okay, keep
Yeah.
going.
So, and then we just used a little bit of, cranberry juice, like a splash of cranberry juice. Of course, you have your ginger beer, Tito's vodka, lime, and then some mint from my garden, and it's
Oh, I love
great.
that.
Yeah.
Such a nice touch. There we go. I
Yeah.
was like, touch. Were you talking about, Bundaberg ginger beer? Like the short, fat
Yes.
ones? Those
Yes.
are cute. I really like those. That's like the ginger
It's
beer for
just so
sure.
good, like, and they make a diet one too, so if you want, like,
I
less
didn't know
sugar.
that.
They do,
Oh,
yep.
cool. That's really cool.
Yep, so this is my drink, and I'm one of those people that say you can definitely taste a difference with the mule in a copper cup versus not in a copper
Can you
cup.
explain? Because I feel like some people are like, "What's the big deal?" You know?
I don't know what the deal is. It just makes it taste better, and people have kinda laughed about it like, "Oh, it's the some type of element in the copper that's not very good
Yeah.
for you that's making it taste good." I don't know, but I'm just like, "Fuck it."
I feel like it makes it taste icy and like it's like a
Yes.
cooling sensation,
Keeps
you
it
know?
cold. It's just like, you just gotta have it in a copper cup. We were recently in St. Augustine, which is a very cute city,
Oh,
and
yeah, for your anniversary.
yes, we stumbled in this bar, not stumbled, but we just, like, randomly walked into a place we'd never been to,
Yeah.
and I was fully expecting them to bring it when it came to the mule, but they did not. They're like, "Oh, it's the same thing. It doesn't taste any different," and it was probably the worst cocktail of the weekend. Like,
You're
it was
like,
bad.
I'm not sure if you are aware, sir, but I run an alcohol-centric podcast that actually involves plants, but alcohol is like a side part of
Yeah,
it.
you
So
know
I need you to
what?
understand, sir, that it needs a copper cup, okay?
Yes, I don't know
This
what
is
rock
episode
you live under.
91.
Anyways, that is my drink. Let's move on to our weeks, shall we?
Yes, please. Holly, how are you?
You
Well,
I'm so
I'm gonna
good.
let you lead the update, my friend. I have nothing in comparison to
Aw.
you. Oh my
Oh, stop
god.
it. Stop.
Let it out. Just let it
Well, we
fricking
just
out.
came back from LA. We saw Avatar, and when you guys are listening to this, it's been out for a few weeks, but it was such a good movie, you guys. Like, literally, the water stuff is just oh my god. It's incredible.
Tyson worked on that stuff, right?
Well, we both did, yes.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. The whole thing was I mean, not the whole thing, but a big portion of, like, what we worked on was all the underwater capture, and, oh my gosh, it was just so good. But, yeah, the movie was great. We saw a lot of old friends. We were there for just the shortest amount of time. Like, we flew in the day of the event, um, And then we we saw friends, and then we flew home the next like early afternoon.
Early. Yeah. It was fast.
Yeah, but it was good, and I think I'm a Delta girly. I
You
think
are
I'm
a Delta gal for sure.
yes, I feel this is gonna sound really bratty of me, but I feel like I'm slumming it when we fly American now because I
Wow, Holly.
because I'm joking because I feel like they've just gone downhill a little bit and like they're not as nice and friendly, but like when we were in the Delta flights, like the flight attendants, like everyone was just so nice. And dude, they gave us four different options of a snack. You know when they come by with a little drink cart?
Oh, you got
Four.
options?
Yes, and
That's
I've
nice.
never had
Were
that
you in
before.
coach? Like, wait, were you in economy or were you in
Ah, no,
business?
we were just no, we weren't in comfort. We were in I think we may have been in whatever layer that is to board third or fourth before general. I don't know.
Okay,
But
but
it
still.
we're very normal. We were in like row 13, like, nothing
Yeah.
special by any means. But
Right, right.
that being said, it was just still really nice, and they have like TVs, and I mean, overall, it's very standard
Yeah.
between American, United, Delta, whatever. But yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Every time I've flown Delta, I've had a really good experience. I can't think of a bad one.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I will say I witnessed something a little interesting. This younger girl was trying to put her suitcase in the overhead thing, and she
Yeah.
asked the flight attendant for help, and she's like, "I'm sorry, they don't want us lifting. They don't want us helping because it's hurting the employees' backs and shoulders or whatever."
You're
And
like the what?
yeah, it was really
Did you
interesting.
guys
So
have to help?
well, the row that she was in was actually a married couple with a cute little dog, and they were
Oh.
like I love the wife. I mean, I assume she was the wife, maybe she was the girlfriend. She goes, "Don't worry, he will help you." So
Oh, I love her.
and he was like,
Oh,
"I
she's
got it.
good.
Don't worry." I mean, there's no shade to the flight attendant. I understand. I think she was a little bit older as well, but I just thought that was
It
interesting,
sounds like a lawsuit thing more than anything. Like if God forbid they
Exactly.
drop your bag or something and now the passenger's mad
Well, it was more
or Delta doesn't want to cover their people needing chiropractor or anything like that,
exactly. I think
which
that's
is
what it was.
wrong.
I know. So maybe Delta isn't the shit. But,
Delta, you're running on thin ice, my friend. You are up here with Holly, but you can go off at any
any
moment.
moment.
Don't
Keep
don't
those
push it
snacks coming or else
or else you know what we're going to do.
we're going to talk about you on the Boozy Botanical podcast.
You and the server that doesn't think copper cups matter.
You
Oh
guys are going to be in
Lord.
the same category.
You're in our pit. If you guys seen How I Met Your Mother, you know. Have you ever seen it?
A little bit, but I haven't watched the whole thing.
There's an episode, it's such an old show now. There's an episode where I think it's Robin. She's talking about I forget if it's just I think it's just called The Pit. It's like people that are in her pit. It's like worst of the worst.
Oh
You
my
turn like your
gosh.
face turns into a ball of fire. You can't stand them so much. There's just certain people that make it to the pit.
To the pit. I
And so they
love
have like a
that.
visual where like someone's in like this deep pit in the ground. They can't get out. Like that's how deep the pit is.
I'm in Robin's pit and I can't get out. Oh, that sounds kind of bad.
Oh yeah. So Delta, you better watch out.
I'm telling you, man, you better watch out.
Oh god. But
I'm just kidding.
I wanted to ask, so as far as Avatar goes, because you got to see your
Yeah.
friends that worked on the show or on the film with you.
Yes.
When you were making the movie, was it all green screen, the underwater stuff, or were they doing that thing where it's like it's green screen literally in front of you, but on the monitors, it was what it was gonna be. You know what I
No.
mean?
No, yeah, I know what you mean. No, it was actually so it's motion capture. And if you guys saw like any behind the scenes of any motion capture, really like video games and whatnot, they're wearing dots on their face. They have the
Yes.
suit. So and then they step into what they call like the volume. So it's this either the stage or in the underwater case,
So it's like a
the tank.
capsule, right?
I mean, it's just whatever space you're in, there's a bunch of cameras and the balls are like bouncing off of that. So,
Okay.
we were capturing the actors' performances. So and which
Got
was,
it.
like, really, really cool, but no, it doesn't look like anything. It just looks like you're in a tank, and we're just capturing yeah,
Were
they're
they underwater?
oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, cool. So they'd have to like come up for breath and stuff.
Yes. So it was really
Wow.
cool because a lot of if you guys watch the movie, there's a lot of talk about, oh, I'm almost knocking things over.
Woo!
Like your breath and breathing and then we actually had an opportunity to take a diving class with the instructor, but we didn't get to actually do it.
Mhm.
But anyways, yes, they had to hold their breath, do breath work. They also had some of the I don't know, it's like this holy shit air that they put on their nose and take a breath and then they can go down and
That's
you
what I
know,
was gonna ask you, like, did they have to come up or were they just brought oxygen sort of
no, they
thing?
had to come up. They weren't really ever brought oxygen. Now there were underwater grips, like divers, that had a full like tank and stuff, and then they'd be
Cool.
yeah. But what's interesting too is the water camera. So we as reference camera, well, the water cameras were also reference camera, but us in particular, we were filming outside, like looking into windows, and then the divers they were free diving the whole time. So if there was a long scene underwater, the camera people also had to hold their breath, but they're more so like trained for that. Like they do that as a
That's
profession.
cool. So Tyson, was he ever involved in having to go
Not
underwater?
under, but they would go on these what do they call them? Rafts. So he would
Yeah,
be in the tank, or sometimes like our feet would be in the water. If there's a scene where they start from under the water and then they come up, like we would capture them once they're up from the water, if that makes sense. So
that's very cool. So
yeah.
what just final thing for people that don't really know your time on Avatar, what was your position and what was Tyson's position, or were they the same?
Yes, so we were both reference camera operators. So we would be operating cameras and capturing performances of actors. And Tyson also was in charge of hiring everyone on the camera department. So he would,
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
basically schedule everyone. He was always the liaison between
Like a
like
manager.
production. Yes, yeah. So that was
Yeah,
pretty cool. But essentially, we did the same job, but Tyson had a few more responsibilities than I did.
that's so cool. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, so
Man.
it was so crazy, like, dude, watching the movie back, like, I just remember, like, pretty much every scene and even just, like, certain scenes of them walking, I'm like, "Oh, we shot this so many times," or,
You're
like,
like,
I
"Oh
remember
god, this thing."
but, I mean, I have, like, nothing but good things to say about the movie, like,
So you're
it was
proud of it.
yes, it was so
Did
good,
you
so
wait to see
proud
your
of it.
credit? Were you a
Yes!
Steck or a Smith?
I was Steck. That's
Oh,
how long the
no.
movie took.
Jim, you're on thin ice.
Thin Ice
You
Buddy.
don't wanna get put in the pit.
But,
Oh,
yeah, it
that's
was
well, it makes
awesome.
sense because you weren't married initially when you started with them.
Correct,
That's
yeah,
cool.
but it was cool because, like, I mean, there were so many reference cameras that would day play or, just in general,
Oh
but
my god.
wasn't that many on the credits, so I felt really fortunate and lucky that I made the credits,
Oh
and I was
my
the
god, we
only
gotta work on that
girl.
IMDb.
No.
The only girl in reference camera?
Yep, on the
Where's your
credits.
where's your documentary?
I know, it's really sweet. Okay, I feel I don't wanna keep on going on too
No,
much, but
please. This
I
I'm sure this
remember
is so interesting for some people.
no, that's true. I remember one day,
And you
like,
guys, there's
Sig
plants involved, we promise. We
don't
went to
worry.
we went to Rainforest Flora, okay?
This is a really good yeah, it's a really good episode, but, I remember one day, like, it was one of my first days on set, and Sig came up to me, and she, like, grabbed
Who
my
did?
hands Sigourney.
Oh.
She plays
Oh, sorry. Sorry, everyone. Holly's friend Sig
I'm sorry,
just wanted to come say hello. Probably bring her a coffee while she's
no,
at
it was my first time meeting her. Everyone calls her Sig on set. I'm sorry.
just like everyone calls Sandra Sandy Bullock. We know.
James Cameron, yeah.
I'm just kidding. That's
It's true,
very
they do call him
cute.
Jim.
That's
Anyways,
true. Now
so
I call him Jim. I don't think I'm allowed to, but I do.
and then Stephen Lang, the bad guy, Slang, that's his name.
Wow, that's very that's actually very funny. Okay, so Lady Sig came up to you.
Yeah, she just came up to me and was just like welcoming me to the set, and she's like, "We need more women," and like, "Just thank you so much for being here." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you." Like,
You're
I
like,
just always remember her.
"Sig."
I know she was just a very kind, wonderful person. So it was just really, really great.
Kate, you need to step it up.
I know. Well, Kate was okay. So going back really quick to the underwater stuff. She was literally like
Kate
her
Winslet, everybody, by the way.
in Sigourney, they were the best at, like, diving. Like, they could hold their breath
Really? Did they
so
have
long.
training prior?
Everybody well, no, not prior that I know of, but,
For the movie.
yeah,
Got it.
all the actors had a certain amount of training, just to be, like,
That's so
safe in the water.
cool.
But, yeah, they were so good, and, like, I wanna say Sig or Kate, their max was, like, 6 minutes under the water. Like, they were really good.
Wait, didn't I feel like I just saw this online the other day, but maybe it was clickbait that Kate Winslet, was it her? Almost hit or did hit a world record for how long she held her breath.
I don't know specifically,
I
but
don't maybe
could
it wasn't
be.
her. I read something about that recently, and I thought it was regarding Avatar, but you guys literally don't quote me. That might have been from Daily Mail, so I'll have to look that up and circle back, but that's
Yeah.
crazy. But I read something about her skill at holding her breath.
Yes. Yeah, so I just think that's
Wow.
really cool because you're watching because this technology, like, we haven't seen it anywhere else as far as, like, motion capture under the water. Like, people wanna say, "Oh, it's animation." Like, it is so much more than just
It's not what you saw on Disney growing up. It's very
No,
different, right?
it's just so, like it really is, like, just so moving to watch it. But anyways,
I
when you
heard it's
see the
beautiful. Like it's like
Yeah.
a painting. Like it's so pretty.
And when you see the performances, like or when you just watch the movie and watch them underwater, you can really believe, like, that's them doing it because it was them doing it, you know? So,
That's so
yeah,
cool.
it
Like
was
it wasn't
really
like
fun.
you had people floating around with like what are they called when like you like are like held on by string, not string, but like in the
Oh,
air. Like
yeah.
it's not like they added water in post. Like the
No.
water's real. Do you
Mhm.
think they've added like bubbles and things in post? Like do you think they finessed in post or was
So
all
I told you guys about that one day they spent a weekend just filming bubbles. So they filmed bubbles.
It's very
No,
funny.
really.
So
Tested
it's
it on
all
the
the real
blanket.
deal, just brought
Yeah.
together.
Mhm.
That's so amazing. I'm so
Yeah.
happy for
So
you
go
guys.
watch
I'm
it,
so
guys.
proud.
Oh, thank
Oh god,
you.
anytime someone brings up Avatar, I was like, "Don't get me started. I've got the in. Listen to these episodes."
I know. I just feel really lucky to have worked on it and just, like it was like a little family,
I'm so
honestly, like,
proud of you. You've
you.
gotta you gotta update that IMDb now. It's a pretty big one. Even if you
I
never go back into
know.
cameras, like,
No, I know.
be like, "Everyone will know I did this."
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
that's great,
man.
Holly. Oh
Thanks.
my gosh. About me then.
Tell us about you,
Well,
girl. Have you
can't
taken up
top
this
that.
No, it's not about topping it. Good
Who can let's see, which famous person can I name drop right
Okay,
now?
you know what? I am legit so jelly that you got to meet Hillary Duff. Like, ugh,
Oh, you guys, that's all I have going for me on this
I love
podcast.
Hillary. We all love Hillary on this podcast, but
I found out one of my co-stars oh, sorry, I cut you off.
mm-mm, go for
Um, one of my co-stars on Rent, he also loves Hill,
it.
and,
Hill.
Wayne is an angel. Oh my gosh, I should connect you guys. He's just so amazing. But he was talking about Hillary, and I was like,
My
don't you
bestie.
dare start talking about my queen without knowing that she's my queen. Like, we need to talk about this. And he was freaking out. He wants to do, I don't want to blow up his spot, but like he wants to create some theater with Hillary. There's some plans in the works. And I was like, she deserves
Oh,
the stage. And like,
yes.
he was telling me, he's like, I asked, I was like, have you seen her Architectural Digest episode? And he's like,
Mm,
have I? Oh my,
so
like,
good.
he's in deep, and he was like, a friend made me drive past her house once. I
Oh
was like, "Oh god,"
my
but,
gosh. Give us that
he's
Addy. Just
I mean,
kidding.
literally, we need to water those plants bad. We're literally offering a service.
Lori. She's like, "Why are you breaking into my house?" We
Why did
need
you not water your plants for Architectural Digest? That's the real problem.
Yes, there's a problem here.
God. I'd love if they were like, "Hillary Duff, we need to reschedule this shoot." Like, they show up with their crew.
Oh
They're
my
like,
god,
"This is
well, it's
unacceptable."
so funny, on a lot of bigger movies, they have what's called greens, like the
Yeah,
greens, and
bring
it's
in the
all about
goods.
yeah, I'm like, they don't have a greens person
Ooh, we should
on
get someone on that's a greens person.
ooh, I might be able to finagle that.
Oh
That'd
my
be
god,
cool.
we should talk about it because that's actually such a specific thing of the plant world. It's
Yes,
really the
and
film world with plants in it, but it's really cool.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know, in film and TV, the reason why things look lush all the time, unless it's really supposed to be dead, is because they literally have like a corner, like their stash of plants, and
Yep.
they will fly them in and just replace anything that's not looking cute. But I don't
Yes.
want to know what's happening to all the stuff that's not looking cute.
Well, a lot of times they take
They just
care of
water it.
Oh, yeah. Like, I remember
So
on
good.
Avatar, they had a whole, like, shade house in the back
That's really
outside of the
cool.
yeah, yeah.
What's the company like, what's the movie's, like, greenhouse budget is what I wanna
I
know.
know,
Well,
exactly.
especially with Avatar, you guys were using air plants and things so much, like, they
Well,
needed oh,
not
no,
so
I
much
guess
air
that was more
plants.
inspo, that's what he
It
was
was
saying,
just
right?
yeah, yeah, just kinda, like, for the
Still
scene
so
or whatever.
freaking cool.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Anyways,
okay,
okay.
so oh my gosh, what's going on with me, guys? I really don't know. So this again, we're recording this a little in advance because Holly and I have travels and things.
Yeah.
But I'm wrapping up Rent. Tomorrow is my closing night. We just had a show last night. It's going really well. We
Ooh,
did Matt and I got to do the Instagram takeover for the theater and we had a
I
lot of
love
fun with it. It was
that's
very
so
cute. Yeah, I
cool.
got 1 follower from it, so it works. Okay, guys. Um it was very cute. It was very oh, I actually do wanna talk about this. What was really cool is that one of my castmates talked to the director and she was like, "I have people that could benefit from, ASL that wanna come to the show. Is there any way that we can get interpreters onto the show
Ooh,
for 1 night?"
amazing.
And the theater made it happen. So we had 2, signing performers on stage with
Yeah.
us last night. It was
Wow.
really cool, and the
That's
way like, just watching them
awesome.
because ASL is a whole different beautiful thing when there's music involved. Like, it's
Right.
so cool seeing them do that. I've seen, like, music being interpreted,
Yeah.
but actually seeing musical theater where there's, like, emphasis and dialogue in between and stuff, like, seeing how they would hit certain words
I was just gonna say, it's
it
like
was
they're
really
performing
cool.
too, you know?
Yeah, I can send you a video later so you can
Oh,
take a
please
look, but
do.
that was so amazing to see. It was we had to adjust a few things, but it was nothing crazy. They were just so cool, and that was
That's
a lot
really
of fun, so we're
awesome.
hoping it'd be great to be able to make that happen in the future, and it was just, like, such a cool element of the show, like, it really elevated
Yeah.
the piece. I loved it, it was a lot of fun to watch them work. We were all just peeking through the curtain the whole time to, like, watch them do their
Oh.
thing. There's also a monitor in the dressing room, so everyone was crowding around just watching them
Like, "Look at him
perform,
go, oh my
and we're
god.
not supposed to crowd the monitor, but we were all just like, "We can't help it." It was so good.
This is an
But
exception."
yeah, but it was very cool, a lot of fun, and I think that's pretty much it. We're gearing up for Christmas. Josh and I decided to stay in LA for Christmas, which I'm looking forward to. It's always nice to be home with family on Christmas Day,
Yeah.
but, and
As
our
much as
families oh, go ahead.
oh, I'm so sorry, jeez, the
Okay, yeah.
delay. As much as you guys travel back and forth, I'm sure it's nice for, like, a time when it can be very, trafficky. It's
And
nice to stay back.
expensive.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, totally. Like, we drove for Thanksgiving and, like, that's fine, but it is
Yeah.
tiring. And, like, I think that's the thing. These 2 holidays are so close together, like, essentially, like, just under a month sometimes,
Yeah.
that it's just a lot. And Josh had to go home for a wedding in between all of this, and it was just like to go home 3
Right.
times in a month, it's just so
That
much.
yes. I remember,
Yeah.
like, when we lived in LA and obviously my f our both of our family, was in Arizona. It's such a thing because it's like, you kinda get a little bit of pressure from your family, like, "Well, you're just next door. You're just a state away. Can't you just come drive?" So it's
But it's
almost like
always you having to go home.
I know, exactly.
And I'm just
But sorry,
like
I'm putting lip gloss
I get
on.
it. You guys birthed us, you raised us, but, like, it'd be nice if you came over once in a while, you
Well, and
know?
their thing is like, "Well, you can't accommodate us because your place is small." Okay, true, but, you know?
"Get a sofa, mom." I'm just
I
kidding.
know. We've gotten my parents' hotels before, though, like,
Right.
'cause everyone wants to be comfortable, and it can be hard, like,
Of
you know?
course. I think there is that feeling though my parents do come out fairly often, so I can't complain, but I think it's just this thing of, like, there's always this expectation that, like, the kids come home, but it
Yes.
does get expensive, but I it sucks because I love going home, like, I do
I know.
enjoy that, but sometimes it does feel like work, you know?
Mhm.
It's not a vacation, it's very different than a vacation, so it's like, you're going home to, like, a past life almost,
Yeah, no,
and that
that's
can
so true.
yeah, that can be a
Either
lot.
it can either be, like, the best or emotionally draining, you know?
Oh god, 100%. Like,
Yeah.
that's where mine have been recently, so I'm just like I'm
Yeah.
actually really excited to be here because we've done, Have we done 1 or 2 Christmases here? We've done 1 for sure.
I think I
In
remember
20
that
in
year, yeah.
2020, we stayed in LA. Did you stay in LA in 2020?
Yes, I
That's
did.
right, because we were all together. So not together, we're both in LA.
Yeah,
So I mean, it was the year to not travel. So we
exactly.
stayed home and it was really nice. Just because we got to just like open our presents, but just like be home. And my mom was in town Christmas Eve and left very early Christmas Day that year. So I did see her because she
Okay,
was here. Yeah, and then I don't think that's when she tried. No, that's not when she tried to steal your oranges. That was
yeah.
different. That was because you were
That was
in Vegas. That was
pre-pandemic.
your birthday. Right, right.
No,
Was that
that was
pre-pandemic?
no,
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 that
no, no,
was COVID, right?
that was during COVID. Yep.
That's crazy. That was. It totally
Like,
was.
cancel her. She went to Vegas in 2020.
Oh,
We were
no.
masked up people. People are
Yeah,
still going.
it was outdoors. What are you guys, everything's a blur. Everything's a blur. But
Can't
God,
judge.
I'm rambling so much. Things are good. We're staying home. I'm looking forward to it. So you guys will
I
see
love
updates
it.
online and stuff. Yeah.
Yay. Aw, well, cool. Do you guys have any New Year's plans?
No, we haven't even talked about it. I will be here for sure. So,
Very cool.
I don't know. I should talk to Josh to see if we should go do something. But I
Love
mean, for
it.
sure we'll be home. But it'd be nice to like go somewhere. We've gone to comedy shows a lot on New Year's Eve, which is nice.
Oh, that's really
Yeah, at the
cool.
Comedy Store is really fun. So, like, if your
I love
favorite
going
comedian's
out.
going up, me too. So,
New Year's is
we'll
like the
see.
just glam it up and, live it up.
Exactly, exactly. But Holly, oh my gosh, I'm actually
Yes.
really like, this is one of the coolest episodes I think you've prepped.
Thank you. I'm really excited about this episode, you guys. Today we're talking about the historical significance of houseplants in the 1970s.
I mean, does she stop people? Like,
I mean, because
how cool.
we all know, okay, the macrame, the 70s, like we
Oh,
hear
that's
that a lot.
true.
But I really
Right.
wanted to understand like why. I mean, besides the fact that plants are amazing, and even like there's a deeper, you can even go like way further back, like centuries of when people had houseplants and whatnot. But
Word.
for America, I feel like this was a big time for houseplants. So
Agreed.
I did my research. I felt like I was back in school. I'm like, do I need to cite my work? Like,
Oh, I'll be pissed if you don't.
oh no.
What was it called when we had to do the um
What was that page? Was it called like a not a glossary?
no, I almost said glossary too, but you had to like bibliography. Was that the
Yeah.
bibliography?
Oh, I hated
But you
those.
had to like remember the
Yeah,
first line is not indented and then the rest of it is indented? What was it
that's
called? Like that
right.
format?
Oh, girl, I
Ugh,
don't
I'm
know.
getting I'm getting like PTSD. I
I'm
wanna
starting to sweat.
I'm gonna reteach myself how to do that because like it was ingrained in us, like, okay, you do a parentheses, you do this, you do oh, all
Ugh,
right. So yeah, I want you to
forget
cite at the
that.
end.
Okay, I'll
Okay.
do my best.
All right, Holly,
But
take us away.
well, there's some cool things that I just wanted to mention really quick too. In 1971, apparently in Brooklyn, they had a houseplant boarding facility. Can you believe like okay, you could stash your plants while you're traveling and it was up to $1.75 per plant per week. Is that not cool? Like they knew what was up back then.
That is needed now more than
I know,
ever.
I know.
Oh my
I
god, are
wanted to
we
tell you so
is
bad.
this how we get famous? Are we literally opening up the boozy boarding house?
Boozy boarding
That sounds very bad
house.
without plants included in the word. The boozy potato. We'll have to
Boozy
work on
botanical
that. We'll have to
boarding.
work on but like that is such a cool business.
I know, right?
I mean, I guess there's high risk as far as like God forbid you kill someone's plant, but
I know.
interesting.
Yep. So I just thought that was really
75 per
cool.
plant per week. So
Yep.
probably now maybe like 10 a plant depending on the
Ugh.
plant, but they probably now base it on rarity.
Oh my
Think
gosh.
about
Yeah.
it. Like if you have to check in your elbow, like 50 a week, who
It's like
knows?
owning a BMW. It's expensive just to own.
Literally. I know I'm like looking at my elbow and I'm like, are you alive? God knows. God knows.
Anyways, I also included some random things about the 80s and 90s that I'll tag on at the end because I think
Please.
that was kind of interesting. But first off, the reason and the significance of houseplants was there was a rise of environmental movement. So people started to grow awareness of just, environmental changes, they were just trying to be a little bit more like live sustainably. I mean, I think for like the first time ever, like, I forget which year plastic became a thing, but I
Right.
think people started to just look for ways to live more sustainably. And houseplants at the time was seen as a way of being more environmentally cautious, which is kind of funny, like just by owning houseplants. But it was a
Right.
thing in the 70s. Um,
Yeah.
the next one that I thought was really interesting was just trends. Like it was just trendy to sort of have like natural and organic things. And I read this article of I'm forgive me, I don't have the designer's name, but he was saying that it was a lot of designers used houseplants to sort of soften the sepia tones that were very popular.
Oh, everything was so yellow in the 70's. That's
Yes.
so interesting.
Yes, and it just made it a little bit more, like, organic. I think there was a lot of straight lines. There was, you know,
And pattern like very, like, plaid, or it would be very, like, repeat patterns, like, the all the
yes,
linoleum had patterns.
yes, and the
Yes.
shag carpet. I don't know, but it was
Yes.
kind of interesting. And then this is pretty interesting too. In the 70s, it was a time of, like, cultural change, and it was all about, like, you know, forgetting the traditional like home positions for like women and things like that. And it was a time of
Oh, interesting.
yes, it was very much focused on individual and self-expression. So people actually they use houseplants as a way to express themselves, I think in a way that in the past it's never been done that way before. And not
Right.
to mention they used it as a way to actually make their living space personalized. So I never realized that before,
Oh.
but I don't know if prior to that, and not to say that nobody had style or nobody made their living space personable, but in regards to plants, they used it as a way to just make it more unique because it was such a time of like hearing I mean, definitely the 60s and 70s was about like individualism and things.
Mhm,
I
right.
just think that's really cool, you know?
That's very cool, because 'cause I'm sure there was okay, like, everything has an exception. There probably was people in the 1800s, early 900s that had a plant in the house, but
In the
if you watch, like,
1920s, yeah.
movies that are period, you don't see plants in the house really. Maybe a bouquet of
No.
flowers or things like that from the garden, but it is really cool to see that, like, you can choose, like, picture frames can define someone's style, a bookshelf, a sofa, like, there are things that can define what someone's into with color and stuff and texture and technique.
Yes.
But this was such a it's such a new, like, yeah, like, this is a very different way. Like, I never looked at it as I feel like when we've all talked about plants and we're in this, like, community on Instagram and TikTok and just in life in LA and stuff, and it's like, "Oh, like, plants make us feel good, that's why we have them. Plants are therapy." It's always talked about in that way, and it's like, yeah,
Yes.
you can express your design. You and I do that through
Yeah.
plants, but I never looked at it as truly expressing myself, like, my personality based on plants and which plants I choose, which
Yes.
is
Well, and that's
really
interesting
interesting.
because, another article was talking about it really was like people chose which plants they wanted to have based on what they were into. I mean, just like how we do now and create like a curated, like, you know, houseplant collection. But,
Yeah.
there were like the basic plants that were trendy back then, which were, of course, pothos. I think that was like one of the biggest things. And they called it like devil's ivy back then.
I
Boston
love the
ferns.
drama.
I know the drama. Boston ferns, African violets, philodendron, lots of palms. That was very popular.
Palms are big.
And
Yes.
then let me actually pull up this picture, Angelique. I'm gonna pull it up on my iPad.
Okay, great.
I found a vintage sort of photo. It's a beautiful photo of this huge monstera. It made me think of your monstera from like the 70s, and you can even see in
Oh
the
my, you
window
actually
here.
included it in the notes. Yes.
Yes, I just wanted to show you guys on
Oh, it's
YouTube
that's the
watching.
goals I have for
It's so
mine that's growing.
beautiful.
So gorgeous.
And,
And it's, like, so tall.
mhm.
It's
I just threw
beautiful.
my
That
iPad
one,
on the
for
couch.
those of you that are just listening, she showed us a monstera. It's hard for me to see just because my notes are small. Is it
Mhm.
on a pole or is it climbing up the wall?
Ooh, you know what? Let me look closer. I think it's just climbing up. Oh, I see a bamboo stake in there.
Okay, so it's on a stake, but it's, like, a pretty mature specimen with a lot of
Yep,
fenestrations, but imagine, like, like, you guys walk into, like, the living room like, the dining room, there's, like, an arch that you go through, like a
yep.
walkway, there's no door. It's approaching the top of the arch, to give you an idea.
and it's to the right of a fireplace. There's also
which I
like
love.
giant windows right across from it. So you know that they
The
knew
best conditions.
I know they were, thoughtful about the conditions of the plants. So
Right, because it's probably getting some warmth, which is nice without being too
yes.
hot, and, oh, it's good.
No, for sure. Another thing that I read too, again, this isn't on my notes, but because of all the major cultural changes and social changes and stuff,
Yeah.
people use plants as a way to just create like peace and like tranquility in a
Mm.
time when maybe you're questioning a lot of things and you don't know how to, I guess, just live in a new mindset,
Right,
So
right.
I thought that was pretty cool. So the next reason that people tended to have a lot of plants was there was an increase in urbanization of society where more people were moving to
Huh.
cities and they were used to just nature, so they were
Oh.
wanting ways to bring nature in. And
Huh, that
then
makes a lot of sense.
so imagine if someone moved from, I don't want to be as dramatic, but a farm and they're
Right.
like, we're gonna move to uh
New York City.
New York City, yeah. And so they wanted to have a little plant just to feel like, I mean, not just one little plant, but they wanted to bring some form of nature in. So
That's really cool.
the other thing that was interesting too is apparently in the 70's, there was also there's an increase of office jobs and just people working indoors a lot more. So to
Ooh.
me, that says, I mean, the office plant, like, hello,
I was like,
very
the
popular.
office plant, right.
Yeah. So I think that
Love
is
that.
pretty interesting.
Wow. Do you
Yeah.
think, I had a question for you. Oh, yes, I did. So I also feel like if you look at like textiles and, fabrics and things, like we were seeing a lot of leaf
Leaves.
foliage on, we started seeing a lot of foliage on patio furniture, on things like that. Do you think that was
Yes.
do you think that was from the 70's? Like, when do you think that started? I don't know if that came up in your research at all.
No, for sure. I mean, I feel like I'm also trying to think about, like, mid-century. Like, I think of, like,
Yeah.
that one popular, I think it's Slim Aaron's, photograph. I think so. I mean, I imagine that that's probably a lot of where it derived from,
Right,
just
because
nature
I think of, like
patterns.
I think of, like, the rattan sort of, like, patio chairs
Oh,
and things, and
yes.
always the fabric seems to be, like it's either white or it's, like, patterned with plants and stuff, and I was just wondering, I was like, "Huh." Gives me that 70s sort of vibe of, like, air
Yes.
like, sunroom decor sort of feeling.
Yes,
Is
100%.
that when the rise of sunrooms happened?
I
I think we've
mean,
had those pre-70s for sure.
could have been. I didn't look too much into the architectural side of things besides design,
Of course.
but that would be something that I would wanna look into because that would be
Yeah.
really interesting.
Like did people start wanting plants in the 70's and then it was like, well, we need a space for them that has sun, and so it makes me wonder when that became popular, you
Yeah, no,
know?
for sure. TBD on that, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, let's if we find out about it, we'll follow up and let you guys know because that's I don't know, that's so cool to me. I
Yes.
wonder
Uh-huh.
okay, if we ever do a part 2, would love to find out, was this across the board or specifically in America? Because I feel like the
True.
this research is showing how it was here. I wonder what
True.
the relationship with plants indoors has been in other countries, you know?
What year did your parents come to, California? Do you remember?
My dad had been in the US since he's born in 1950, which is insane. Um, I think my dad came to the US between 68 and 70, and my mom
Okay,
didn't
so
come to the
that is
US until, like, 88 probably, 87, 88.
Hey, so I would be interested to hear from your mom's perspective. I mean, Brazil has beautiful plants. Like, I wonder
Oh,
if people were
yeah.
bringing them indoors or because you could just walk outside potentially and get nature. I'm really curious.
I just considered calling her live, but I don't know if that's gonna be annoying. Should I call her?
Yeah, let's
Oh my
try.
gosh. We've got some time. Let's see
Is
if
she
she
awake?
answers, guys.
Because it's
If
all
she
oh,
what?
well,
It's
okay,
11
so
in
it's
in
not that
Tucson.
early. Got it.
Yeah, that woman's up at, like, 4.
Oh,
Alright.
she's a morning
She's
queen.
never been on the pod, right?
No.
Okay, let's see. This is at Hot
Well,
Brazilian Mama on Instagram, everybody.
that's right. Do
Come
you have it
on,
on
Mom.
speaker?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear it?
A little bit.
Okay. It might be a little low, but I do have it on speaker. Oh. Oh, no, I don't. I'm sorry. There we go. I fixed it.
Nice.
Mom, pick up the phone. She's going to call back as soon as we're done. It's so
It's
annoying.
always when you are trying to get a hold of your parents that they're too busy for you.
100%.
Like, I thought she answered.
Please leave your message for.
Oh my God, so rude.
At least she didn't forward you to
Who do
voicemail.
we call instead? Now I feel like a void. I'm like, how dare
Well,
you?
we'll try back in a few minutes.
Yeah, if she calls back soon, great. If not, we'll let you guys know. I'll ask her off air. But
I'll let you
oh,
guys know about the 80s real
she's
quick.
been. Oh, please,
Then
please.
what?
No, yeah, no, go ahead. She's been on. I've done that to her on SIGF before. Just kind of like,
Oh my
what?
God, cute.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. I'd like to hear.
Okay. I'm trying to think if I forgot about anything else prior to this. No, I think that was it. So in the 1980s, there was a lull because I think a lot of
Mm.
people, or no, I'm sorry. And then you would see, not a lot of people, but you would see in malls and stuff, like
Yup, near
the
the
mall
elevators.
plant. Also, guys, if you watch Stranger Things, like season 2, when
Yes, yes, yes,
there's so many
yes.
mall plants. Yeah, so that was a thing, airports. But experts say it's probably because people couldn't find any info on how to properly care for their plants, and then they got discouraged. So,
Interesting. That
yeah,
makes a lot of
because
sense.
I mean, I even remember back in 2018, you could find info on plants, but it wasn't very in depth on like their care needs across the board. It was very much like water, sun, and like, so I think
Right.
I just think maybe people, because I think about my mom and like the boomers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they didn't really have a green thumb. I mean, some moms did, but I just kind of look at
I think they did more so for outdoor gardening, if at all.
that's true. Cause like
Yeah.
my grandparents, they love plants. They were always so good with plants, but my mom and dad, not so much. My mom
Right.
will even say, I don't have a green thumb and yada yada. So,
Right.
but then what's pretty interesting is in the 90s, it was really popular. Like people were trying to go for like that elegant look, like the thick drapes, crown molding. I
Oh
mean,
God. Yep.
so apparently people thought orchids complemented that very well, and orchids became huge in the 90s.
Very cool.
Is
That
that
makes sense. My
interesting?
mom's obsessed with orchids, and she would have been in her
Okay.
30s in
Yep.
late 30s in the 90s.
Yep. So that makes sense.
Wow. That's so
Yeah.
crazy. And I feel like orchids have not stopped being popular.
I mean, they're still like a housewarming gift for sure, like a
Yeah.
go-to.
Which I I love seeing some of the most difficult plants be what we give people as gifts that
I
don't know.
know.
Like they look at it as
Well,
like
it's
a bouquet of
always
flowers.
Yep, and it's always the Phalaenopsis orchid, your typical grocery store
Is
orchid.
that the one that we mainly see? Sometimes they dye the leaves and
Yeah.
stuff. It's such
Yep,
a
but people don't
freaking
know that they
crime.
can re-bloom them, so they end up throwing them away, which is so
I
sad.
know because I think they just think, oh, it expired, and I'm like, there's a root system.
I know,
Like,
they
what do you
just
think
don't
is
know.
happening here? Yeah, it's
They're not
crazy.
thinking.
Wow. I just made a little note to talk about, like, we should plan out an episode 1, like, the office plants,
Yes,
and
oh my gosh.
then like, I don't know what to title it, but it's, like, the plants that are given as gifts, but not regarded as plants. You know what I mean?
Bamboo, all that.
Oh, you guys know how I feel about that
Oh
one.
my
Oh god,
gosh.
it drives me crazy. Should I try
I'm
her
sh
one more time? Oh, go
Sure.
ahead, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm trying to find there's this, plant nursery called, let me see, it is called Leon and George, and it's in Southern California. And apparently, in the 1920s, that was the first time potted houseplants became available. And
Oh,
in Southern California, that's where Leon and George is based. They were the first nursery out there to offer potted plants, which I
that's
had no clue.
cute.
I really want
Which part of
to
California again, did you say?
Southern California. So let me see if I could find them on Google Maps because
Okay,
I think
cool.
that would be so cool.
Imagine it's just around the corner from me.
Oh, I'd be
I would
like,
be
"Oh,
so
no."
excited. Literally. That's so cool.
So you know what? It's more so of like it's like a business, I think, as far
Okay.
like they're hired to decorate indoors, like, like a
That's
plant
very
interior
cool.
designer. Okay. Interesting. Very cool. I gotta do more research on that, but I just thought that sounded so cool,
No,
you
it's
know?
really cool. It's so crazy to see just how things have developed over the years because I think like I'm just like, oh yeah, people have always had houseplants, but like really it has it at least it sounds like in the US it hasn't been a phenomenon for that
Yeah,
long, not even like 100 years maybe,
I know. Oh, I
which is
remember what
really
I was gonna
crazy.
say.
Go for it.
I was just gonna say in regards to the 70s, I love how that was like the OG jungle corner. Like you would always see a corner
Yes.
filled with
Yes.
plants, you know? So I
Yep,
just think that's
100%.
they would have like a hanging Boston fern, then they'd have like maybe a peace lily. Um,
Macrame.
yeah, macrame. I will
Yeah.
say though, I love how now that there's so much more in cultivation because really there was only like maybe 10 to 20 different options that were popular for houseplants
Is
back then.
Pothos OG?
Oh, yes. I actually have a list of
Oh,
plants that
please.
were very popular back then.
And let's see who's withstood the test of time.
Exactly. So we have African violets, the
Yep,
heart-shaped philodendron,
always.
ficus, spider
Really?
plants.
Spider
Mhm.
plant is what I think of when I think of the 70's.
Yes, spider
Yep,
plants,
always
pothos,
hanging.
snake plants, and peace lilies. But again, on this list, we
Peace
don't.
lilies, really?
I'm
Wow.
pretty sure. I feel like that's when I think of 70s house plants. I can kind of think of that.
Yeah, that makes
Um,
sense.
Another one. I feel like they call them cast iron plants. Oh, and Kentia palms were very
Oh,
big.
yes. Cast iron plants. I'm
Yes, they're
looking it up
kind
right
of
now.
like they kind of just look like almost like a peace lily.
Okay.
I don't really know how to describe it.
Oh,
Um,
oh, oh! Aspidistra
that one.
elatior. Hold on, let me oh, this plant is sold everywhere, is it not?
It is. Yeah, it's pretty
This is
popular.
very IKEA.
Yes. Oh, I have to say too, in regards to ficus, the Ficus benjamina to me screams 90s, but they were always fake trees like thrown in the corner.
You know, that is something that needs to be discussed. Why was the 90's and, like, early 2000s and I hate it when I see this in, like, even
I
now.
know. I don't like.
Why are there, like, these, like, wicker plant baskets with, like, foam, fake dirt, and these
Yes.
fake plants? I can't stand it.
Well,
I
and
can't stand
the
like,
weird
fake trees.
Spanish moss at the base. Remember that? It was
Yes,
like,
it's so ugly. It's always gray.
and it's always dusty.
Right? Because
Like,
no one who's gonna clean that? I'm
ugh.
not.
Nope, nope,
Oh,
nope,
I
nope.
can't stand it. That's gonna go under office plants.
Yes,
If it's not
that's
real,
gonna
it's
be our next
that.
one.
I'm just
Oh, we
like,
should just do like a roasting episode. Oh my
"Oh, I'm
god.
ready."
Write that down.
Girl, oh, it's
I'm all
written.
telling you what to do. Do it, Angelique.
Oh, Holly's my boss and I like it. Okay, great. Yeah, just because it's I don't know, it's a vibe for
Yeah.
sure. I'm just
No, no,
like
no, for
the
sure.
thing is, I get it. There's some people that really don't want to develop a green thumb, but they
Yeah,
want greenery, so it's like, I get it. But, like, really, like, that's something else. I think there are some companies that are developing very realistic fake plants. Like,
yeah.
I've seen some orbifolias that are fake that look really nice, but some of
Definitely, they've stepped up their game over the years, I will say.
yeah, I just there are still some companies where it just looks so fake. Like, it looks like a printed pattern onto fabric cut into a leaf,
Mm, I
and
know.
that's what I'm really not into, but, like, yeah, it's not the worst, but it's just
Yeah, again, I'm not
yeah.
trying to hate on anyone or any type of fake
It's
plant.
fair.
I'm just I'm just making, it's like a memory that I have, a core, like, memory of I think my mom
It
had one too, just
traumatized you.
going to people's houses and seeing these fake Ficus
Right.
Pangaminas that were dusty, crusty, and probably had some spiders in them, you know?
Yep.
Like, that's all we're
100%.
saying here.
Oh god, it's probably just a spider heaven.
Ugh.
Ew, 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 ew,
Yikes.
ew.
Scary,
Okay, can
scary.
I try her one more time?
Sure.
And then if not, we'll wrap it up, guys. We don't wanna bore
Okay.
you. My
TBD,
mom
but
is
yeah, definitely ask her.
oh, yeah, I definitely wanna know. Well, because like, I've always talked about I grew up I don't remember my house without plants. So, in the
That's
90's,
so
my mom definitely
cool.
had houseplants. Alright,
We
mom,
were
come
so the
on. I
70s.
texted her being like, "Are you free for a call?" And she never read it, so I'm guessing she's
No.
not free, but let's see.
What if she
Huh?
just, like, answers and starts yelling at you?
Oh, she's probably gonna be annoyed. She's like, "What? I'm working." And I'm like, "I need you.
I'm your
Don't
daughter.
why you're not picking up. Mom? Oh!
The mole had a story.
Please leave your
Oh, how dare.
I'm calling CPS.
Like, ma'am, you're 30 years old. Nearly 30. You're like, how dare you?
For those of you watching, I just death stared Holly with my jaw dropped. There needs to be senior CPS because I need to talk to someone.
Geriatric.
You're like, that's called BetterHelp.
Sponsoring this episode.
Because Angelique's traumatized by my mother.
Aww.
It's fine.
Traumatized. It's okay.
I'll see if she calls back. I'll try to record her response, but we'll figure it out.
Cool, just to finagle it in the episode somehow.
Yeah, Mom. We're trying to help you.
Yes, trying to get followers too.
Exactly. I'll figure you know who I could have called. It's too late now. We got to wrap up. I could have called Josh's mom to see if she had thoughts on that as well, because she grew up in LA during that period too. So I'd be curious to know.
Maybe we should just think about having one of them on the pod. And just
I asked her once. She got nervous.
Oh,
if you remember that, I'll have to ask.
We're a boozy podcast to get rid of the nerves.
Loosen it up, ladies. Well, Holly, where can people find you?
So you guys can find me at Concrete Botanical on TikTok, and then at Concrete Botanical _ on Instagram.
Yay! And you guys can find me at that one. I almost gave you the wrong handle. At Suck Up for Plantas on Instagram, and for the podcast, it's at Boozy Botanical Podcast, where we drop new episodes every Tuesday on all the freaking things. And if you guys enjoy what you heard today, please leave a 5-star rate and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We super appreciate it. Holly, let's discuss a giveaway. I think that'd be really fun. I think we're overdue.
Absolutely.
We got some merch, so that'd be a lot of fun to share. And if you guys want to collab, you can always DM us on Instagram, or you can email us at boozybotanicalpodcast@gmail.com.
Yay! Well, thank you guys so much for another episode of Boozy. And on that note,
cheers! Cheers!